You know, the strange part about waking up is how quietly lonely it feels at the beginning. You suddenly realize that most people are still drifting in their sleep, and when you try to nudge them, they look at you as though you've lost your mind. And maybe in a way the accusation I sin T entirely wrong, because it is a little absurd to expect someone to understand what you re-pointing to when they haven't even noticed the horizon you re-describing. It is like explaining the colors of a sunset to someone whose eyes never leave the concrete beneath their feet, or telling a fish what it means to breathe air. That is the first truth you stumble upon when awareness begins to stir. You can't hand it to anyone like a keepsake. It's not a lesson, not an idea, not even a belief. It's a shift in perception. And perception changes only for those ready to see. You can speak endlessly, but nothing truly settles. Words can guide, but they cannot peel open anyone's eyes. Only direct experience does that. And when awakening first begins, there's this burning wish to share it, to draw everyone you love toward the light with you. You point at what feels obvious, but to them it's invisible. After some time, you learn something humbling. Not everyone wants to awaken. Not yet. Awakening is like fruit ripening. No matter how much you pull, it won't detach before its moment. And if you force it, what falls is sharp and bitter instead of sweet. Life has its own timing. Every soul opens exactly when it's meant to. You can't speed it up. You can't slow it down. You can only trust the rhythm. There's a quiet humility in realizing that life itself teaches more perfectly than you ever could. Even ignorance has its role. Some lessons can't be passed through words. They must be lived, through pain, through confusion, through heartbreak. These aren't errors in the journey. They are the journey. The wise eventually stop knocking on doors that refuse to open. They scatter their words like seeds and walk on without concern. If the soil is fertile, the seed will know when to awaken. If not, time will handle it. And when you look more deeply, you'll see this clearly. Waking people isn't your mission. Something far greater is already guiding every soul with astonishing precision. Call it God, call it the source, call it the great intelligence of existence. The name doesn't matter. It's the same force that shifts night into dawn, ripens the fruit, and opens a flower without your intervention. Just as you don't command the sun to rise, you don't need to push anyone toward awakening. When you try, you're taking on a task that was never yours. You begin to imagine you're the savior, the guide, the one who must lead others out of their darkness. But that's only the ego wearing its final disguise. Life already knows the route each soul must travel, which dream they must believe, which sorrow must break them open, which moment will call them back home. Your role is far simpler and sacred because of its simplicity. Stay awake. Speak when truth moves through you, but release the words the moment they leave your mouth. They no longer belong to you. They belong to life's timing. Faith isn't measured by how many agree with you. It is measured by your peace, by trusting that even those who resist are being carried by the same unseen hand. Let the river take the course it must. Let life handle its own unfolding. Rest in the gentle knowing that nothing in creation is truly asleep. And when you finally stop trying to wake anyone, something unexpected happens. It's as if the curtain you've been pulling at simply drops, and you see the stage clearly. Not a battlefield of minds, but a single play where each character fits their role flawlessly. The people you once labeled asleep are no longer obstacles. They are part of your path. Their blindness showed you your impatience. Their resistance revealed your tendency to force life to match your expectations. And in that realization, a soft tenderness enters your heart. You see that the world was never opposing you. It was faithfully mirroring you the whole time. As this understanding settles, something even more surprising appears. The world you tried so hard to awaken wasn't the outside you at all. Every person, every conflict, every disappointment was a reflection, showing you where you still imagined yourself separate. Meet a stubborn person? Perhaps they're mirroring stubbornness within you. Meet someone deeply asleep? Perhaps life is whispering, "You were once here too." The blindness you condemn in them might be the shadow of your own forgetting. And then it dawns on you. You are never trying to awaken others. You are trying to remember yourself through them. Because there are no others, only different expressions of the same consciousness, dreaming at different depths. This is why the awakened grow gentle. They stop judging the sleepers. They see that the same light shines behind every face. Some lanterns glow faintly, others brightly, but all are lit by the same flame. So the world isn't your project to repair. It's your mirror to understand. When you shift, the mirror shifts. When you forgive, it softens. When you stop insisting things must change, change begins everywhere. And perhaps this is the hidden secret of awakening. Not that you rise above the world, but that you finally recognize it was never separate from you. The moment you perceive the world as yourself, trying to fix it suddenly appears absurd, like a dog chasing its own tail, barking at what it already is. We spend years trying to improve existence, reforming people, correcting society, tidying up what we think life messed up. But notice how effortlessly everything else functions. Trees never need motivation. Stars don't meet to discuss shining better. The ocean doesn't seek approval before rising with the tide. Everything moves in harmony without our interference. But we, the wise ones, imagine we're here to straighten the universe. And so we struggle, argue, preach, worry, as though life is malfunctioning without our supervision. When this truth hits you, you see clearly. All that saving and correcting was just resistance to the dance. Letting go doesn't mean withdrawing. It means participating without trying to control. You act, but without tension. You speak, but without forcing anyone to listen. You love, but without reshaping the beloved. Life becomes light. You move with it instead of against it, like water finding its own level. And just when you stop trying to fix the world, a new temptation rises, preaching about not fixing it. Ah, I'm enlightened now. Let me tell everyone how not to try. Which is, of course, the same ego in a new mask. Truth doesn't require a spokesperson. It expresses itself silently through the way you breathe, the softness in your gaze, the steadiness within you when everything seems to collapse. People dawn to awaken because of words. They awaken because they feel something in you that language cannot express. A stillness, a quiet presence. That is the only real teaching. When you live what you've seen, it moves through you like fragrance from a flower that never tries to smell sweet. Others notice without you pointing it out. They ask, "What changed in you?" And you smile, realizing you've added nothing. You've simply stopped pretending. To embody truth is to disappear into it, to become so simple that the extraordinary shines naturally through the cracks. No preaching, no persuading, only living. And strangely, that's when your presence begins teaching more than your words ever could. You are never outside the flow of life. You are only imagining yourself as the swimmer, forgetting you were the water all along. To trust the current is to stop fighting life with your expectations, to stop trying to make the world behave. Life will move as it must, with or without your approval. And in surrender, a gentle revelation emerges. You are never here to save anyone. You cannot. Each person has their own river, their own current, their own mysterious way of returning home. You cannot swim their path for them. And that isn't sorrow, it's grace. Because love without control is the purest love there is. And the moment you begin to love in that way, you find you are never separate from anyone at all. So let go. Let the river carry you. It isn't pulling you away. It's guiding you home,